What up, YouTube? It's your boy JusRzd, and today we are tapping in with another episode of Behind the Soul. Today, we talking about the song Receipts featuring GB. Man, I'm not gonna hold you. This is probably one of my favorite songs I've ever done. Just keeping it a buck because so I'm not gonna hold you. This is probably one of my favorite songs I've ever done. Just because it's really, man, it was birthed out of a real life situation and real life experience from just different things I've experienced throughout the years of working and performing in churches. I don't mean like performing as in rapping, but I mean like everything, like uh performing using puppets, performing, helping with the dance ministry, helping with set up and break down events, helping with the different plays and stuff like that. Like I've worked and done a lot when it comes to church and ministry and different things in the house of the Lord. And I've seen people get taken advantage of. I've seen people kind of get pimped out for the ministry. And it's just always been interesting to me. Once you get on that side, you think everybody has good intentions, but at the end of the day, in the fallacy of man, not everybody's intentions are pure or godly. So it just ends up being a situation where people might try to scam you for a situation, or they might try to pimp you out for your gift because they like the fact that you can sing, or they like the fact that you can play the keys or play the drums or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, so why don't you come do this event for us for free? But everybody else is getting paid, but we're trying to get you for free. Instead of explaining like, hey, up front, we'd like for you to come, but we don't really have the bread to really like pay you anything to come. And then it's just like, all right, well, now the ball's in my court. I can either decide to do this or not. But then when you don't lead with that and you don't lead with certain details, explaining the situation, it kind of feels half-hearted in a sense. Like it kind of feels like you're trying to get over on a person. So that's a separate topic for a separate time. But the song Receipts, produced by OPB, a brother that I met through TLS, through Q Flow, and the brother got some heat. OPB got some heat. OPB for sure got some heat. And it was funny because it was a situation. I'm not gonna get into too much of the details, but it was a situation that OPB was going through. He had made the beat as sort of like a jest, in a situation that he was going through to try to get some money back from an individual. And it was funny because we, of course, being TLS, being a part of TLS, we ride for our people. So he was like, all right, bet, drop it in here. We go write verses. We gonna do this at a third. We gonna do a diss track. We were joking, but it was funny because when I heard the beat, I was like, yo, I like this joint. I was like, hey, yo, send this joint to me. And so he sent it to me, and immediately, as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, hook came just like that. And it was just like, since we talking about, you know what I mean, since we talk about people trying to run off on a plug, and we talk about people trying to scam, you know what I mean, let's just go right into it. So the hook was probably one of my favorite parts of the record, outside of the beat. The beat, fantastic. Shout out to OPB. But yeah, the hook just it just came to mind. Like I said, I've been a part of a lot of I've been a part of old ministries. I've been a part of young ministries. I've been a part of ministries in the middle. And sometimes you'll have healthy communicative organizations and ministries and stuff like that where they do communicate what they need and where they're lacking in the second and third. And then sometimes you have organizations and ministries that claim they're doing it for the Lord, but ain't really moving honorably when it comes to making sure that people are taken care of. And I've seen that, unfortunately, a lot. And so this song just really comes from a birthplace of just like kind of being sick and tired of people trying to take advantage of you or your gifting for the sake of the ministry. And I use quotations because people try to use God to kind of gaslight you and doing something that they want for you. Same way sometimes people try to use family to gaslight you into doing something that you don't want to do, but they want you to do it. And so that's unfortunate that people take that route, because that's real kind of underhanded and manipulating. So it's really not a good move to do. Instead of just communicating healthily. And if a person says no, they just say no. Like, it is what it is. You got to figure it out on your own. But so this particular song, the hook, I love the hook. Running off on the plug, nigga, you slipping. Think I do this just for love, boy, you tripping. I tried to dead it, but you dug, now we tipping. Bet I nip this in the bud. Baby, I'm different. I'm different. I'm not gonna do this how you think I'm gonna do this. I don't need to fight you. I don't need to get loud. I don't need to do all that. But I'm gonna nip this in the bud, and we're gonna figure out how to move forward in a respectable manner. Even if that means I ain't gotta deal with you no more. Even if that means that I can't deal with you anymore because you don't understand how to take accountability and grow from a situation. So just different situations I've seen people owe people things or be asked about different things, and they try to just disappear from the scene. I've seen people get paid for stuff and just kind of disappear from the scene. And I don't mean the scene like CHH. I mean just like disappear. You can't you try to contact them, you try to reach out to them, and nothing. The phone number don't work no more. The Facebook pages are deactivated. The Instagram is no more. It's just like, yo, what happened? I paid you bread. I'm expecting a service. Where you at? So it's just like, dang. I've had several experiences of this from inside the church and outside the church. So it's just it just becomes a little redundant and frustrating when you think about it in that manner. And so it's just like, all right, you running off on the plug, my nigga, you slipping. You slipping, because what you doing? If you thinking I'm doing this just for love and there's money involved, boy, you're tripping. You're tripping. You're tripping. Once money becomes involved, this becomes a business transaction. It's no longer just for the love. No. No. I tried to dead it, but you ducked. Now we tipping. Now we tiptoeing around the situation. Now we tiptoeing around each other. What's going on? What's going on? I tried to dead it. I tried to be respectful. Now you didn't disappear. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to you. Now I got to figure out what's going on. So that's really the true meaning behind the hook and why it came about the way it came about. And bet I nip this in the bud, baby. I'm different. It's just like, bro, this ain't the situation. You're not gonna be able to just disappear and then pop back up and everything be good. No, we're gonna have several conversations. We're gonna have to have a conversation for sure. And then depending on how that conversation goes and how your actions go after, we might need to have another conversation. So, and then I might just not need to deal with you no more ever again in life. And that's just how that's how the cookie crumbles. And that is what it is. Unfortunately, you can't control how people respond, even when you try to communicate healthily. So it's just like, you gotta respect the game. You gotta respect the process. And I'm going to try to, as the Bible says, have a conversation with you in private. I ain't gonna try to blow your spot up. We're gonna sit down and see if we can hash this out. If the conversation, if the actions continue, first of all, we probably not gonna be able to do business together no more. But if the actions continue, now I gotta bring you in front of group brothers. So it's still keeping in lines with biblical terms of dealing with confrontation. You feel me? But also just being respectable and wanting to move in love and wanting to move in a specific way that's honorable amongst not only yourself and the brethren, but also amongst guys. So as a Christian, I feel like that's how we should move in everything that we do. But everybody's not a believer, and everybody doesn't hold those type of standards when it comes to dealing with business and handling business and this and the third. And it doesn't mean that everybody's perfect in that aspect, because I fall short sometimes too with being communicative properly and healthily. But praise God for growth, and praise God for trying to get it right every time. if you're trying. Some people don't be trying. They be saying they trying, but they really don't be trying. So it's just it's interesting to me. Just like I said, the hook is one of my favorite parts. Once I heard the beat, the melody started flowing. I was just like, yo, this. Oh no no. Uh, uh, oh no no. Like the melodies just started flowing. And I was just like, yo, this joint sound good together. And so I just kind of stacked it, panned it, did everything I needed to do. Shout out to 48 for the mix. You already know what time it is. And then I remember writing my verse, and I just felt like I had to get a lot off my chest on that verse. I had to go hold you. I just felt like I had to get a lot off my chest on that verse. And so I did that. One of my favorite verses I've ever written. Shout out to Receipts. Shout out to OPB. And then I was sitting with it for a while. I remember I dropped the rough draft in TLS. And I was like, yo, I don't know who I should send this to. I feel like I said all I needed to say in the first verse because I said a lot. And I was just like, I kind of want to send this to somebody that I know gonna kill it. And shout out to Mike Wise. He was just like, man, just send this to GB already, bro. And I was just like, you know what? You're right. You're right. And me and GB have collabed on a few singles. And you can check the behind the souls. We've collabed on a few singles. First starting with the Recipe, which was a record that he let me hop on. And let me do the hook and let me get a verse. Then I needed him for the Hustle and Soul tape, and I got him on a song called Joe Pesci. Turns out Goodfellas, one of his favorite movies. So he just killed the verse. And then we had Pull Up and Go. That was a song that was sitting for a while, but gave it to GB, killed the verse, and we ended up making a banger for the summertime. Now we got Receipts. So I sent it to GB. He sent it back. Slid on that joint. You want to work? Let's work. You want to work? Let's work. Shout out to GB, yo. He killed that verse. And yeah, every time I send GB a verse or send GB a record, man, he never disappoints. Never disappoints. Now I know some people may be a little concerned because I said a specific word in the hook or in the song, but it is what it is. I pride myself in being free creatively, and so that particular word that I said may be found in my music. It's not the first time I said it. Probably won't be the last time I said it on record. So it's just like, hey man, it is what it is. If it's not your steez, God bless you. If it is your steez, God bless you. Like, it is what it is. Let's keep it moving. And this particular song, like I said, I love the creative process of writing it. I love what GB did with his verse. I love the beat. Shout out to OPB. The beat was fire. The melodies just was speaking to my soul. So I really love this record. Shout out to Receipts. Shout out to Rapzilla for the distribution deal. And shout out to everybody who streamed it up until this point. I know I haven't really been able to do a whole lot of promo here recently within the last few months with me dropping music during the summer. But a lot of family stuff going on, a lot of kids out of school, getting ready to send my oldest to college. Like, it's a lot of stuff going on in my household. So promo just ain't been on the priority list. You feel me? But like I said, the Receipts definitely one of my favorite songs to date that I've released. One of my favorite verses, one of my favorite hooks. The beat was phenomenal. GB on the feature, phenomenal. And definitely you'll be able to check the lyric video. I'll have it at the end of this video, but definitely thank you to all those who have tapped in with the music and who continue to stream the music and watch the lyric videos, and did it myself. And all the artwork and all the different things, definitely did it and designed it myself. The behind the artwork is pretty much a Polaroid picture taped to a wall of Receipts. And I wanted, I even told GB this. I was like, when I created the artwork, I wanted to, I was like, what would be something that would, like, if two roommates was beefing, they would do something to be petty. Like, what would be a petty response in a beef? And I was like, taking a Polaroid photo of some receipts and then taping it to the wall, I feel like would be super petty. So that was the whole design in the thought process behind the design of the cover art, is just being petty. Because at the end of the day, why you ducking me? Why are you ducking me? We can resolve this like grown-ups and like adults. And then, like I said, this particular song isn't about one specific experience or person. It's about just more so a mindset or a culture of being passive aggressive, and just kind of ducking accountability and responsibility when it comes to handling business properly. Like, what we doing? What we doing? If you want to work, just know there's a rate that comes with that. So with the rate that comes with that, either you can meet the rate, you cannot meet the rate, or we can negotiate and see what's up. But don't try to manipulate me into doing something for the ministry without trying to make sure that you are communicating healthy expectations and communicating healthily what it is that you need and what it is that you desire. If you ain't got it, just say that. Just leave with that. I ain't got it. Okay, cool. We're going to have to figure out something else, and be okay with a no. Be okay with a not yet. I can't afford to do that. Cool. It is what it is. Like, at the end of the day, the worst a person can do is say, I can't do it. And then you got to figure something else out. And that's fine. And you might not be able to get people to do stuff for free. And then you might be able to, depending on your rapport with that person. But communicate healthily, guys. That's the whole point behind this song, is if we're doing business, communicate healthily. So that's the message I hope you get behind the song Receipts. That's the message behind the soul. That's the message behind this song. That's the soul of this record. From so many bad business practices that I've seen go down through other people's lives, and I've experienced my own self. So definitely tap in with your boy. Receipts available on all streaming platforms. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. You can definitely watch the lyric video. I'll have it attached to the end of this video. And like I said, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, so that way you can be notified anytime we drop a new video on the channel, which is every day. So stay tapped in, stay tuned in, stay locked in. And thank you for tapping into another episode of Behind the Soul. And never forget, it's free soul to the soul free. Let's get it.